to introduce the producer of tonight's special concert, Chabad Lubavitch of South Texas, and its executive director, Rabbi Chaim. For some of you here tonight, this is your very first time at an event produced by Chabad, and I wish a special welcome to each of you. And for many others, I should say welcome back. Many of you have been to other events produced by Chabad. For example, the annual Hanukkah on the River celebration held along the banks of the Riverwalk. During each of the last 14 Decembers, Chabad has organized a celebration of the season by adding the lights of Hanukkah in a live concert performed in the Arneson River Theater, featuring talent from around the world. But Chabad is much more than a concert producer. Chabad is a worldwide resource that helps Jewish people live their tradition. Starting about 60 years ago, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson of blessed memory encouraged a custom in which a young couple, comprised of a young Chabad rabbi and his wife, the Rebbitzin, would leave New York and move to a place they had never been before. They would arrive in their new city, create a home, and then share their love for their fellow Jews with delicious, warm home hospitality and inspirational learning. This idea of reaching and connecting with Jewish people has grown so that there are now more than 4,000 of these emissaries around the world. Chabad now has centers of learning from Buenos Aires, Argentina, to Sydney, Australia, from Phnom Penh, Cambodia, to Santiago, Chile. There are now even 10 Chabad centers in China. Yes, you heard correctly, 10 Chabad centers in China. So thanks to Chabad, a Jewish person, whether he's just traveling through town or she's living somewhere year-round, can find a place to eat a kosher meal, celebrate the Jewish holidays, or study Torah almost any place in the world. But what about here in the Alamo City? Chabad Lubavitch of South Texas naturally provides a place of worship for Jews who want to pray as part of a community. These services are held every day of the week, and especially on the Sabbath. And all year long, Chabad provides classes on a wide range of topics and for persons of every age. But even for Rabbi Block and Rivki Block, there are only 24 hours in a day. So to help the Blocks do all the things that Chabad does, they were joined by Rabbi Yossi Maris and his wife, Rebbitzin Malka Maris, 14 years ago, and more recently by Rabbi Levi Teldin and his wife, Rebbitzin Rachel Teldin, who returned to live in our city and to help connect our growing population of teenage and young adults. Chabad's Gan Gani preschool provides a stimulating and educational environment for children beginning at 18 months of age. Chabad also offers classes specially designed for teenagers and young adults. And there are weekly Torah study classes for students of all ages. I believe our Chabad rabbis have a special talent for teaching the lessons of our ancient tradition in such a way that they apply to the modern lives we live today. The Chabad rabbis we have in San Antonio warmly welcome and encourage each of their students, even those of us who've had a very limited Jewish education and may not even know a word of Hebrew. Because of Rabbi Block's leadership, both here and nationally, our city was one of the very first communities in the United States to present classes created by the Jewish Learning Institute, sometimes known as the JLI. JLI classes provide an opportunity for adults from throughout our community, persons of any faith or background, to learn some strategies to deal with the challenges of our daily lives and the perplexing questions of our lifetimes. One recent JLI course was toward a meaningful life. Another was on medicine and morals, a guide to the very tough decisions we have to make on medical issues. And one of my favorites was a recent class called An Oasis in Time, a model for achieving balance and serenity in the modern age. Following the Rebbe's custom that I mentioned earlier in my greetings, back in 1985, a very young Rabbi Chaim Block and his wife Rivki Block, and their then only child, their daughter Chavi, arrived in San Antonio. They created a home in a small townhouse on Craig Place, just a little north of where we are tonight. And they started meeting people and inviting them for dinner. It wasn't long until Rabbi Block began having classes with a few students. And so began Chabad Lubavitch of South Texas. Then the Rabbi and Mrs. Block got busy. Here we are 27 years later. The original Block family grew by the addition of 8 native Texans, to a total of 8 daughters and 1 son. And 3 of those daughters got married here and brought 3 sons-in-law into the family. And with 4 energetic grandchildren, the Block family Kanahara has grown into the next generation right here in San Antonio. From its humble beginnings on Craig Place, Chabad has grown and grown. It has expanded to its campus on North Blanco, where it is now building a new facility in which to better serve our community. And thanks to everyone's support and effort here, Chabad keeps getting better and better. Thank you for being here tonight to listen to the rare talent of Matisyahu, who is in the building, and to support Chabad in its worthy efforts to improve our lives. Please join me in giving a warm South Texas welcome to the Executive Director of Chabad Lubavitch of South Texas, Rabbi Chaim.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Alan, for such a wonderful opening and for preserving so many of our memories at Chabad, our families, and for so many others throughout the years with your incredible photographs. You are truly an artist with a camera. It is great to see that so many people are not watching the Oscars tonight or the All-Star game. I'm sure the ratings will reflect your presence here. I would like to acknowledge my wife, Rivki, the director of our Gangani preschool and Hebrew school, who gives her all and is a true equal partner in everything that we do. And on behalf of Rivki and myself, I would like to acknowledge and publicly thank Chabad's administrator, Rabbi Yossi Maris, and his wife, Malki, our 18-month-old teacher at Gangani, and our program and youth director, Rabbi Levi Teldon, and his wife, Rachel Teldon, who is the 3-year-old teacher at Gangani, for their extraordinary effort and dedication to our community. One cannot ask for more talented and devoted colleagues and teammates. Thank you, Rabbi Maris, for your help with the organization and implementation of tonight's event, and to Rabbi Teldon for all the graphic design work, the ads, the posters, the email teasers, which I'm sure you've received more than enough of. I'd also like to mention the staff here at Arts Center San Antonio and the Empire Theater, Sherry and Isabel and JT and Truman, Belinda and many others who worked very, very diligently to make sure that everything would go smoothly tonight. There are many others who deserve mention this evening, and please refer to our program for a complete listing of those whose assistance we gratefully acknowledge. I'd like to acknowledge as well our corporate sponsors, HEB and IBC, whose guests are here with us this evening. And when I say corporate, you have the sense of coldness and aloofness, corporate, but these organizations are truly friends of our community. And they are out there every day connecting with people and making this community a better place. So thank you so much, HEB and IBC. I'd like to thank some of our L'Chaim patron and silver sponsors who have helped make this evening possible. Gil Atzmon, Stella and Jim Avery, Dan Markson, Michelle DeVirgin, Marcel and Stan Schnitzer, Elaine and Steve Cohen, Sarah and Peter Geltman, Anatol and Sherry Trachtenbreit, Debbie and Erwin Zucker, Jennifer and Saul Perloff, Raquel and Lenny Holtzman, Troy Halpern and Gary Copeland, and Porter Lori Morchery, all whose help and assistance have helped make this incredible evening possible. And Lisa and Jeff Rosenbluth. Thank you so much. We are now just beginning the Hebrew month of Adar, which is also known as the happiest month of the year. Our sages tell us that Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. When Adar comes, we increase in joy. Because in this month, we celebrate the festival of Purim with its very well-known characters of Haman and Esther and Mordechai. It was yet another attempt in our long history of difficulty and persecution, of a nation's determination to annihilate the Jewish people and their victory over and against all odds. And the special, unique quality of Purim is that Purim was not a story of great and grandiose miracles. Purim was about a people who did not lose their faith and who were able to discern God's hand in the very everyday nature of the world and the very everyday happenings of our lives. And the story of Purim resonates so well with us because each and every one of us in this room has obstacles and has difficulties and disappointments in life. And it's our responsibility, and we have the ability to see the godliness in each and every one of these aspects, and to see the silver lining, and to recognize that the providence of Hashem, of God, is truly in the small things in life. And so faith brings happiness. Because when you have a little faith, and you recognize that nothing happens at random, and nothing is just by chance, and every difficulty is an opportunity for further growth, it does bring you some happiness and some joy. So tonight we have the privilege of listening, of being together with a man of deep religious faith, who has indeed brought happiness and joy to millions of people around the world. And he is here with us in San Antonio this evening. To introduce Matisiyahu, I will call on a very dear friend of mine, Frank Villani, who is the Managing Director of the City of San Antonio Office of Cultural Affairs. And our friendship goes back 15 years when we got together to produce Itzchak Perlman here in San Antonio at the Majestic. And I'll tell you now what I said then, how amazing it is that a rabbi and an Italian from Brooklyn meet in San Antonio, Texas, to bring quality arts program to our community. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my dear pleasure, privilege, to introduce and present to you my dear friend, Frank Villani.